So let's talk about this man right here. If you don't know who this man is, his name is Naoya, the monster Inoue. I've been following his career for quite some time now. Basically, when I started making YouTube videos, so 10 years ago, I would say, when I started really getting into the sport of boxing, looking into more boxers and looking into their careers, and yeah, Naoya Inoue was definitely somebody I kept an eye on for quite some time. Maybe not 10 years, maybe a little less than that, maybe 8, 7 years. But I've been following him definitely way before he became, more of a mainstream name. And actually, he's not even a mainstream name. Not many people know who he is still, based off what I've seen on social media with today's news. Because to those who don't know, Naoya Inoue was recently crowned as the number one pound for pound king by the Ring magazine. Yes, the Ring magazine currently has him ranked number one. If you go to the Ring magazine website and you go to ratings, click on ratings, and you go to the pound for pound list for all the weights, they have Naoya Inoue at number one. They have Alexander Usyk at number two, Terence Crawford at number three, four Errol Spence, five Estrada, six Saul Canelo Alvarez, seven Vasily Lomachenko, eight Dmitry Bivol, nine Josh Taylor. Man, people still have him on their list. 10 Jermel Charlo. Um, all these guys are definitely top 15. I mean, even though Josh Taylor arguably lost against Jack Catterall, he's still a top 15 fighter in the world, in my opinion. But yeah, these guys are top 15 fighters. A lot of people weren't too happy with Naoya Inoue being crowned number one. A lot of people believe that a fighter like Alexander Usyk, Terence Crawford, Spence deserve to be number one over Naoya Inoue. In my opinion, I'd much rather have Usyk. I think I have Usyk right now as my number one after Canelo lost. Uzyk's now my number one. I tend to create a list and post it in my homepage. That's what I did for my previous channels for Boxing Sphere. I haven't really done that for this channel. I'll definitely have to think a little more on my list if I do create a list. But I'd probably put Usyk at number one right now after Canelo loss. Naoya Inoue, I'd put Naoya Inoue probably at number three right now. Man, I'm not clicking on anything. Why is it clicking? And I'd put Crawford at number two. Yeah, I'd put Usyk number one, Crawford two, three Inoue, four Spence, five. Man, I have to think about five. Five, I'd probably put Bivol at number five after defeating Canelo. I think I'll put Bivol at number five. I don't know. I'll have to think of a little bit more, but definitely Inoue is definitely a top three, or definitely top five for sure. Top five in my opinion. If you don't have him in your top five list, then I don't know what to say. But yeah, I wouldn't really put Inoue at number one, but the Ring magazine has him at number one. I don't know what criteria or who voted on this. I don't know who decides the list for the Ring magazine, and maybe it's their authors. Whoever writes the articles maybe come together and they put their own list, and whoever has the highest points, I guess, becomes number one. And Naoya Inoue is number one for the Ring magazine. And he's a great fighter. Naoya Inoue is a great fighter. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned this yet, first Japanese boxer to be ever considered number one pound for pound ever in the history of the sport of boxing by the Ring magazine. So yeah, Inoue right now is undefeated, 23-0. 20 wins coming by way of knockout TKO. He's number one after defeating Nonito Donaire. Knocked him out in 2 rounds. In a fight where, in the first fight, he struggled against Donaire. He won against Donaire, but it was a more competitive fight that went the distance. Back in 2019, 3 years passed, and Inoue destroyed Donaire. One may argue that Donaire is not the same fighter as he was. Yeah, possibly. I mean, he took a lot of punishment in the first fight, but Donaire came back and became a world champion, defeated 2 undefeated young fighters, champion in Obali and interim champion in Caballo, and knocked them out. And you'd think that Donaire still has what it takes to compete in the top, and yeah, I still think Donaire does. I think he beats everybody right now at 118 pounds except for one man, and that one man is Naoya Inoue, and it showed in the rematch. And yeah, a lot of people actually don't know who Inoue is. Based off what I've seen on social media, there's a lot of casual fans out there that have no idea who he is. But the man can fight. The man's very talented. The man has power. He is a pound for pound top five in my opinion. Maybe not number one just yet, but eventually he will. After, if he becomes undisputed in this division, 118 pounds, and moves up to 122 and becomes undisputed there, then definitely he is a contender for being undisputed. But right now, I'd have to give it to Alexander Usyk. Usyk, he's a man that went to their backyards over the years in the cruiserweight division, conquered the cruiserweight division. If you just look back at his resume, I saw him fight live in person when he fought Michael Hunter, when he fought here in the USA for the second time. It was a pleasure to watch him fight. He's like a big version of Vasily Lomachenko. I saw Lomachenko in that event as well. He fought Marco Huck in Huck's backyard, defeated him. Bradis in his backyard, defeated him. Murat Gassiev in his freaking backyard of Mother Russia. And as you guys all know, there's a war currently going on right now between Ukraine and Russia, and he defeated Gassiev in Russia. Defeated Tony Bellew in the UK. Fought in his heavyweight debut against Chaz Witherspoon in the US. Went to the UK again to beat Derek Chisora, and went again to the UK to beat Anthony Joshua. The man is a freaking road warrior, and he's proven time after time that he is one of the best in the sport of boxing. And in my opinion, number one right now. I had him at number two when Canelo was my number one. So yeah, he's my number one. I mean, after Canelo losing to Bivol, I think Canelo is still a top 10 pound for pound, honestly. I think he is. A lot of people don't think so just because he lost to Bivol. But if you take into consideration that Canelo has fought top fighter after top fighter within a short period of time, you have to take that into consideration as well. A lot of these top fighters haven't really been that active in comparison to Canelo. But anyway, like I said, for me to create a list like this, I'd have to think a little bit more. But I'd definitely have Inoue, Usyk, Terence Crawford, and Spence in my top four, no doubt. Those are definitely, I would put my top four in, and those are the four fighters I would put in my top four. Not in this order, but those are the top four guys right now in this sport of boxing, in my opinion. Anyway, Inoue is still one of the best. Whether you like it, he's number one or two. I mean, there was a time where I used to really, get behind the pound for pound list of the Ring magazine back when I was in high school, more than 10 years ago. Man, that shows my age. Yeah, back in high school, I was, the Ring magazine was my the one to look to, in my opinion, back then, back in high school. It's the one that I really thought was the more legit list out of all the lists. It was where I get my news and everything, where I learn more about boxers, this and that. Man, it was the Ring magazine back in high school. But over the years, you get more educated, you learn more about the sport, you learn more about other websites, other sources, other opinions, and you tend to create your own opinion and mindset as a fan of the sport. And I rarely go to the Ring magazine now compared to back in high school. But anyway, Inoue. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with Inoue being number one? Let me know in the comment section below. Agree or disagree? And yeah, let me know your thoughts. Thanks for listening and watching, and like always, have a great day. All right, thanks.